Now, through the miracles of modern technology, zany worldwide banner featuring Tom, Michelle, and Jim in an on-topic, off-topic free-for-all. Welcome to the Gun Talk After Show.
It's the after show where we're going to get together and just, yakety-yak, don't talk back. We got Jim over in the corner where he usually belongs. Thank you, Michelle. You did a good job of putting him over there.
You're welcome.
Duct tape is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
The greatest invention. Gorilla tape, even better.
Right. Even better. There's nothing you can't do with that. You can build an airplane with that stuff.
That's right.
Okay, I didn't need this beard anyway.
Yeah. You don't have that beard anymore. Only on one side.
Nice.
So, there you go. So we're having some fun today. Let's do this. We have people who've been on hold for a little while. We probably ought to just jump into that. So let's take care of that. Line one, DT is with us out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, DT, thanks for your patience, man.
You bet. Hey, I've got a question about the Browning 380 built on a 1911 frame, reduced size. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering what kind of reports you've had on it. I also want to know what you think about a 380 hollow point for home defense.
Two different questions. I have not shot the 380 1911, and I don't think I have heard a report from anybody. Michelle, have you heard anything on that?
No, I thought we had somebody that had called in a while ago that owned one, I want to say. I was thinking that for some reason. That really liked it, and then we've had other people, where do I find them? Which I have no idea.
Well, that's the other thing, is where do I find them?
I read the article in NRA about it, and actually it'd be more for my wife because the slide will be easier to work than on a 9 or anything else.
Okay, I'm going to make a really strong suggestion that you don't buy that gun for your wife. I think you should let your wife pick out her own gun.
Well, yeah, I'm going to have her look at it for sure.
Okay. Has she shot 1911s before?
Yes. Back when
so she's
she
familiar
was
with
younger, she shot 45 quite a bit.
Okay. Well, then she'll know how to run it. Here's the deal. It's a miniature 1911. It's in 380. If you like the 1911 platform and you want smaller, then this may work. Now, you mentioned a 380 as a home defense gun. It certainly is better than nothing, but here's the thing. The reason you have a 380 is because you're going to carry a gun and you want something small. If it's at your home where you're not having to carry it and it's like in a drawer or something, I want the biggest, baddest mamma jamma I can get, and a 380 does not qualify for that.
Well, that's good information. I guess you haven't really heard anyone talk about it, whether they like it or don't.
I really have not. Not the pistol. Now, 380, I'm very familiar with, 380 loads, and there's a lot of good hollow point ammo out there in 380, and it works for carry. And the reason you carry a 380 is because you don't want to carry something bigger. But if, like I said, I'm going to go back to this. If it's in your home and you're not actually trying to conceal it, I would want a bigger gun. I would want a 9 or a 45 or a 12 gauge or an AR-15 type of gun. And I more and more am coming to believe that the AR is an ideal home defense gun. Stick a red dot sight on it, put a sling on it. Sling is important, people, on long guns. And train up, which is the other part of it, do that deal. So, DT, I appreciate the call. I hope that helps. I didn't have any experience on that gun, but there you go. It's Browning. It's a 1911. It's kind of simple. I mean, Michelle, it's not a lot to talk about there. It's a 1911.
Right. We haven't really found anything that it hasn't worked with. I mean, in history. And if you don't like the recoil of some of the smaller 9mm handguns, switching over that 1911 style really makes a difference on the felt recoil, and I think it makes it a lot nicer platform.
That's a good point. And the thing he mentioned, which I think people forget, I think it's a really good point, which is on a 380, the spring, the recoil spring, does not have to be as strong, so that's going to make the slide much easier to operate.
Right. You want to be careful because a small gun is what everybody wants because of carry purposes, but smaller the gun, we've gone over this before, the more felt recoil it has. And so some of this not going to be training a lot on it. It's a difficult road for them to go down.
But this is not a miniature gun like an LCP, though. I mean, it's just a smaller 1911. Is all.
Yeah, I wonder if the 1911, when you jump from a 45 to a 9, which everybody I've talked to at Chatham said they're sweet. Michelle's yet to buy me one, so I don't know. But I'm wondering if that'll carry down to 380, or it's like, diminished returns and you're better sticking with a 9. Because if the slide's that easy on a 9, his wife might be able to chamber that.
No, the slide's not that much easier on a 9. When you get to 380, it's a good bit different. I mean, the 380 has a much easier slide to operate. I like the mid-compact, mid-size, if you will, 380s for people who say, I just have trouble with the slide. Almost all of them can run a 380 slide.
Okay.
So just kind of food for thought. Now, there is, of course, an even smaller 1911, quotes around 1911, in 380 you can get from SIG. Mm-hmm. And, of course, you can get the little bitty, what is it, 938? Yep. Is that the one? It's a 9 millimeter.
238.
238. Thank you. I've confused all the numbers.
It's easy.
Because they're numbers.
Yeah. It's like me with Glock. I can never, 17, 19, I don't know. It's one of those Glocks.
I can't ever remember. I always have to Google it and look those things up. I don't know what model that is, so I don't know. But maybe if I worked in a gun store, Michelle, I would remember that stuff.
Repetition, right? It's all about repetition. Right. But yeah, those you can literally rack back the slide with just your finger on that rear sight. It's amazing.
Hey,
on the SIG, yes, I've seen that. That's pretty slick. You just flick the rear sight with your finger, and the whole slide will work.
Yeah.
Yes, Jim.
I was thinking, would you care to leave the country here and talk to Brent in Fresno, California?
Is that a scientific question?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Let's go to another world at least. Hey, Brent is in Fresno. Brent, is that like San Francisco? No, that's Fresno. That's a different world.
No. That's Central Valley.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you. What's up?
Okay. Hey, I got a question. Governor Brown signed all these new gun law things, and one of which prohibited 16-round clips and limited them to 10. Now, I'm wondering, is there any exemption in that law? Because I haven't been able to find the wording on it for law enforcement or retired law enforcement.
First, let me start off. First, I don't know, but here's the deal. Generally, it does not apply to law enforcement, but whether or not it applies to retired law enforcement is a different issue, and more I'm finding that the laws, there's no exemption being made for retired law enforcement.
I wonder if Gene Hoffman would be able to help him out.
Yeah, I would say probably if you were online and you went to CalGuns, calguns.net, calguns.net, I guarantee you that information is there because people have been talking about it. That's kind of the go-to place for what's going on in California with guns.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll go there.
All right. And of course, the California Rifle and Pistol Association is a great organization. Every gun owner in California needs to belong. So there you go. Brett, I wish you luck with it. I am sorry about what's been going on in California. Man, that's a host of bad stuff going on there. And it's, at what point do they start saying we're going to be going door to door, or we're going to require you to turn them in, or you're going to get in trouble for having them? It's
or does it leak across to our side of the country?
Well, yeah, of course it does. That's what Bloomberg wants. He's trying to get this done everywhere, and that's why I keep saying rather than if you just keep saying no, you're not getting anywhere. You have to force them to say no. We have to keep proposing and charging and pushing and kicking in the doors and saying we want this law, we want that law removed, we want this new law. We want to make sure that XYZ, we have to have a shopping list of what we want and have them be on the negative, on the defensive side.
That's a lot of manipulation of media that has to happen there.
It is, and you're right, and it's hard to get through a lot of the media. But the other part of it, the media that's hard to get through is becoming less and less important every day. The CNNs of the world, it's like their ratings just keep going down. All the newspapers, their circulation just keeps going down. And so we have to be smart enough to figure out how to maximize the impact with social media as well as other things. Like our caller John earlier said, hey, call radio talk shows where the host is not friendly to guns. And get a point in. And then, next week, call and do it again and have like 6 of you. And you could do it where each of us is going to call, every 6 weeks, but we're going to work this, and this just becomes what we do. That's the kind of it's kind of like a resistance movement, World War II in France. We're all going to get together, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to take back our rights. Or we can just sit on our butts and think that something's going to change. What are you guys doing? You're sitting on your butts, aren't you? There you go. See, I told you that's what it
going to
is.
Change.
Right
it didn't change. My blood pressure's so high from just seeing California on the screen. I'm so disappointed. And I've got a lot of friends and family there, and they're looking at moving. They just can't deal with it.
Yeah. A lot of people are thinking. The other thing, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's take a break. When I come back, I want to talk, because we all have friends who are in law enforcement. Let's talk a little bit about the events of the week. We'll get back to that when we come back here on the After Show.
Fans of Slip 2000 EWL gun lubricant will want to try EWL 30 this summer. The thicker EWL 30 sits up, migrates less, stays wetter longer, and will not dry out. Perfect for long-term storage. It also holds up better in hotter conditions while still providing the excellent high round count performance you have come to expect from the original EWL. Slip 2000. We're all about gun care. Learn more at slip2000.com.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about, obviously we had, the videotape shooting of the guy in Baton Rouge where he had a gun. I think he was a convicted felon.
Multiple
felony convictions. The call was that he had threatened somebody with a gun, and then he wouldn't comply. They took him to the ground. He still wouldn't comply, and it looked as though he's reaching for his gun underneath him, at which point if that's what was transpiring, I probably would have done exactly what the officer did, which is I'm going to go with contact shots, and I'm going to shoot him until he quits reaching for that gun. Because if he gets his hand on the gun, he's a great big guy. All he has to do is twist his wrist up, the gun's pointing at you, bang, somebody gets shot. Yep. So if you've given him multiple opportunities to improve his behavior, and he has declined those invitations, then you must make him stop this resistance where he's trying to kill somebody. It's kind of like the whole... Was it Michael Brown and Ferguson? I want to go through a recitation of, let's see. Trayvon Martin was killed while he was trying to kill somebody, smash his head in. Michael Brown was killed while he was trying to take a gun away from a police officer so he could kill him. If you don't try to murder someone, there's a really good chance you won't be killed in the middle of that act.
Oh.
Same thing. I think that's what happened in Baton Rouge, too.
That's how it works.
Yeah, strange, isn't it, how that works? But no, we're going to apply a whole different metric to it.
Mm-hmm. I was pretty thrilled about the coverage on in the Dallas tragedy.
Yeah? How so?
One thing, it was almost comical, but it was sickening at the same time. As a reporter had an iPhone, he's giving a telephone interview, and he was on his iPhone, evidently. And he said that I'm a block and a half to 2 blocks away. It's really hard to say. I can't tell if he's white or black or Hispanic. But he's definitely got an AR with a 30-round magazine. It's like, wow, you have selective supervision. That's great.
Oh, he was must have been zooming in with his iPhone. That's how you could tell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, of course, and then it turns out it's not an AR at all. It's an SKS.
Right. And it was, and the shot they were showing was a pistol shot anyway. It's like,
oh no, really?
Yeah. It's like, and he's got a bullet point list from his producer saying, as long as you get these points in, the story will be good. It's just, spur of the moment.
The guy in his ear is saying, somehow you need to say AR-15 and high-capacity magazine. You have to say those things.
It's repetition. They feel that they need to keep repeating that. It's what they know. They may not have any kind of familiarity at all.
It's easy for you to say.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Evidently not.
They may not be familiar with firearms at all.
Nice workaround.
They may not be familiar with them at all, but that's what they hear. And so that to them is everything, every style.
Throw out some buzzwords.
Right.
And the average listener probably doesn't know either and says, wow, yeah, that pistol's an AR-15.
To a lot of them, any black plastic pistol is a Glock, because that's all they know. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, there you go. But a lot of the coverage was actually fairly accurate. One of the things I want to talk about for a second is, there were guys open carrying in the middle of all that. Did you see the video of the guy who was open carrying, I think it really was an AR, in the protest, a black gentleman, and he went over and offered it, I guess, to the police officers, and so they could take it from him. And then you see video of the officer giving him a business card. They're talking. It's like, okay, nobody got shot. Nobody had a gun pulled on them. The officer figured out, knew this was a good guy. Had a gun. I'm not crazy about the whole open carrying of long guns, but that's what was going on in the middle of this protest. But then, of course, President Obama immediately says, well, the police have a hard time figuring out who the bad guys are in a place where a lot of people have guns. And I'm going, yeah, like Billings, Montana, that's where a lot of people have guns, and I don't think they're having a problem there. They're actually not having a problem anywhere. But
agenda. Work it in.
Agenda. Boy, you're right, isn't it? It really is. And Obama kind of defaults to that because that's the one thing he's not been able to get done. He had a shopping list of what he wanted to do in his 8 years, and this is the big one. And in fact, what was it, like 6 months ago he's been interviewed? He said, that's the one disappointment, in my reign of terror. I mean, no, he didn't put it that way. In my, no, I put it that way.
Aptly.
In my presidency, I haven't been able to get gun control passed. Going, yeah, that's because we don't want it, and we know it doesn't work. But no, getting back to Dallas, though, I also was reminded, you know how we've talked before about having a medical kit with you? I was just this week walking around carrying my little med kit in my pocket that also has a tourniquet as part of it. What are you going to do if you don't have something like that?
I was just thinking that this morning, because there's multiple companies out there that make different types of bags, and you've often referred to bug-out bags or go bags or whatever you want to call them. But 511, for instance, has a really nice, I think it's called a Prefense bag that is medical and then first aid and then whatever it is that you want to carry.
Cool. And you stick a pistol in there.
Exactly.
Whatever.
And it's a really nice bag. I mean, sling it over your back, sling it around your waist, whatever you need to do. But I don't think...
Is that a woman product primarily, or is it a
unisex? Unisex. No, so you can get a man bag, Jim. It's all right.
I need a man bag. I do. I got so much junk.
But I mean, that situation, it's ideal because obviously the red is the first aid and the blue is the medical and then whatever else you want to carry in there. But I think just having one probably isn't enough. Getting in and out of it frequently, just like a woman with her purse, she knows automatically where her wallet is. You reach to the left or the right. And I think that's, also a huge... Well, it could save somebody's life, obviously, even faster. You know where it is. You don't have to fuss with anything else, and you know how to use everything.
A lot of people who die from gunshot wounds bleed out because nobody could stop the bleeding. And, help's going to be here in 10 minutes, but this person's going to bleed out in 4.
Right.
And if you have a tourniquet and, as you point out, know how to use it, go take a little class and that. And for those who say, well, I'll just use a belt. Belts don't really work, folks. It's not really the same, and if you haven't had any training in it, you probably don't know what to do with it. And these little med kits are pretty cool. You can carry them in your man bag. If you wear something like 511 pants that have the pockets everywhere, they're actually small enough to stick in one of those pockets.
Mm-hmm. I think
the old deal of safety, right?
Right. I think people just have to be comfortable with putting them on or putting it in their pants pocket or however it is that they're going to carry it to be able to accessorize for the day. You put on your pistol, you put your wallet in your pocket.
Well, it's not a bad idea to have a second one in your glove box.
No.
I have, I think, 1 or 2 in my car. I think you just ought to have one stuck in your car no matter what. And I probably need more than that, but I don't have it. And that's partly because I haven't really taken a full-scale good 1 or 2 day medical class, just emergency trauma stuff.
Guess what Tom's going to be doing this week?
Yeah, no kidding. All I need is some time.
No doubt.
Just trying to get all this in.
Red Cross offers that, don't they?
They probably do, but I'll tell you, a lot of the gun schools are now offering that too.
Ah.
Yeah, all around the country, a lot of gun schools, and they've got these folks who have come out of the military and they were med techs or parajumpers or whatever there, and they know how to teach this stuff. It's kind of like, all right, what do we need to do? We need to stop the bleeding and make sure the airway is open. After that, nothing else really matters. The bumps and scratches and, mercurochrome, forget all that. We got to keep you from dying here.
There's not much else you can do in the field anyway as a average Joe. But those two things.
Well, appendectomies. You can do a field appendectomy, which is always fun to do.
So you know how to do that. We'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, just in case. Well, you just Google it up, and they probably have a YouTube video on how to do that, so you can do that.
Hold my phone for me, buddy. I'll take care of this for you. No problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Hold it up.
Hey.
To the left.
That's right. Oh, wait, my battery just died. Drat.
Oh, jeez. Oh. But obviously, outside of a mass shooting situation, those kits have uses.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, tons and tons of uses. Well, hiking or canoeing or whatever it is that you like to do. Fishing. I mean, my goodness, how many times has somebody gotten a hook stuck in them that you had to get out? And I mean,
think about all the times that you've been juggling chainsaws and something could have happened.
Sure.
You never know.
Jim, you need to stop that.
Well, I've switched to electric chainsaws.
Your best isn't going to cure everything.
He wanted to go a little bit more exciting, so now he's doing flaming chainsaws.
Flaming chainsaws, yeah, I like it. Nice visual.
That's a good group
Wrap
name.
it up a little bit.
It is a great band name. Flaming chainsaws.
All right, go grab the website on that one. Hey, get the domain name.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. How did it hit you guys? Did you change anything? Are you thinking anything this week? What was your reaction to all this?
To me, it's just upsetting that this keeps happening over and over again. And obviously, we don't know the whole situation. We know bits and pieces until more investigation is done and more information comes out. But, we want cops to wait. Well, they have about as many seconds to decide what they're going to do between their lives or somebody else's life. And
right.
I don't know. What would you do in that situation? And I think that's what people need to know is you don't know everything that went on. That cop has been taken aside, been relieved of his duties, guns taken away, reports are made up.
His life's ruined, regardless of the outcome.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's not, like you say, I wouldn't want that job. It's, it's tough on the streets. And I think people just don't have enough respect. And
well, think about that. Think of what you're saying right there. Who are the people that don't respect cops? It's not the law-abiding citizen. Every law-abiding citizen I know doesn't have a problem with law enforcement.
Right.
It's the scumbags that are always bad-mouthing the cops. And gee, well, do you have a record? Well, yeah. Well, and then they'll go off on their little rant on why they hate the cop. Well, maybe, do you ever think if you weren't a criminal, you really wouldn't have a problem with them either? Like, we don't. I mean, come on.
I'm sitting here looking at a report online right now. Minnesota police pelted with rocks, Molotov cocktails. If you're throwing bricks at people and rocks and Molotov cocktails, that is a deadly attack. I'm amazed that the police don't just end it in the appropriate way, which would be to figure out who's throwing a cocktail and shoot them. But they don't do that because they're professionals and because their rules of engagement don't allow it. But if somebody's trying to set you on fire, you really do legally get to shoot them.
Well, police, military, they're the only ones that have rules of engagement.
Yeah.
The evil-minded person out there on the street could care less what your rules are. They're out to do one thing and one thing only.
Well, the irony is you see that as soon as things turned and the shooting started, all the people that were protesting ran to hide behind the cops that they were protesting in the first place.
Right.
It's hypocritical.
Yeah, it is. It's disturbing. If you get a chance, everybody, if you get a chance to say hello to a police officer, just thanks. Officer was helping us last night. Yep. We went out to our car, and he walked out. We were in downtown New Orleans. He wanted to make sure that there was a piece of concrete in the road. He wanted to make sure we didn't hit it. I mean, he walked out, just watched us, didn't do anything. We rolled down our windows and just thanked him right there, said, hey, appreciate it. He said, all right, you guys, just be careful, be safe out there,
And that's got to go a long way for them because they're constantly getting bombarded the other way.
Yeah, it's just the attitude.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's all attitude.
It is. Well, let's conduct ourselves as well as we can, try to spread the word. And anytime people start bad-mouthing the police just as a whole, Now, if there's one incident and you had a problem, okay, that's a whole different deal. But you can't badmouth all the cops. I liked, was it Newt Gingrich? No. Yeah, it was Newt Gingrich right after this. He said, look, here's the deal. If we don't have police, about 25 minutes later, we have anarchy.
Yep.
That's pretty much it, isn't it?
They're all that keep us from that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And they're willing to get up every day and go put themselves between those evil people. And boy, they are truly evil, some folks out there, and us. So, a little understanding. Hey, sometimes their day's pretty crummy, and if you have a bad contact with it, cut them some slack,
Yeah, I think it's a numbers game. I mean, if you were totally polite to cops and you got pulled over 100 times, I'm guessing over 90% of the time, nobody's going to cop an attitude with you. They're going to go about their business. You may or may not get a ticket, whether you deserved it or not. It's totally different. But percentage-wise, I don't know how many cops, when you're saying yes or no, sir, and you're complying and you're safe, are going to take you down and give you a beat down and arrest you.
Right.
I just don't see it happening.
Just follow directions.
Oh, and the other thing, one of our callers, he said, I'm kind of a speeder. I've been pulled over about 10 times. You might want to just slow down, dude.
You need training more than guns.
Leave 5 minutes earlier.
Exactly. If you look at the numbers, you're not going to get there much faster, and you're endangering everybody around you. And I know you're a great driver. You're the Parnelli Jones. You're the Dale Earnhardt of the road out there. No, you're not actually. You're just putting people's lives in danger. Slow the H down, okay?
Ooh, you're getting a little verbal there. Tom's getting heated up.
Soapbox.
Wow, he said slow the H. It's going out on a limb there, Tom. Slow the hockey? But do you mean hockey, or it's the only worthwhile word that starts with H?
All right, we're ready for the slapogram. It's time.
Okay. All right, here's the deal. Every time he says hockey, you get to hit him.
Yes! They shoot, they score.
Yeah, in the spirit of hockey.
All right, there's another one. There's two. All right, I got to go. My hand's going to be sore.
I'll update you guys next week if I can.
If I can. If he's still talking and walking, there you go. All right, you guys be careful, okay? He just ran out the door, didn't he? Yeah, he's going, you can't reach me.
Oh, my. That's our gym.
Hockey. What is that game anyway? What do? They slip around on ice and they have an overcooked hamburger patty. They slap it all over the place. It's just weird.
People don't understand hockey unless they've played it. And if you've played it, it is the only true sport. Now, that'll get you some emails this week, Tom.
Well, down here we have ice, but we know what to do with it. We put it into drinks.
Bourbon.
It's in my tea.
That's right. Exactly. As it should be. Just the way God made it.
It's iced.
Well, you guys carry on. I'm going to go ice skate.
Oh. That way when he falls, he already has ice on it.
That's right. That's right.
Keeps the bruising down.
All righty.
He doesn't do it all the way. He just kind of does it half iced. And with that, I'm going to head out to the 97-degree heat where we have no ice formed anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a dry heat? No, it isn't.
It's not actually. In Louisiana, we never had dry heat.
Okay.
Only in my oven, and only barely there. You guys be safe, okay?
Likewise.
Take care, Tom.
Tell your friends about the Gun Talk After Show, a more informal setting featuring Tom, Michelle, and Jim commenting on topics that are important to you. Available on iTunes and other podcatchers, and the Gun Dealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android.